And we are live on the Metal Voice. What is going on, Black Sabbath fans all around the world? I just want to start off with this preface. Just so you know, guys, we're not, and I put this in the notes, we're not going to be streaming the event here. We're just going to give you some play-by-play, do a bit of a summary. You need a license to stream an event publicly like this, so I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression. But you're welcome to give us your feedback of what you thought of the performances so far, if you have been watching it or you haven't, or you want to know something. So I'm watching the stream here, as well as I'm getting info from the people at the stadium right now.
Jimmy, I'm watching it here. So you're watching it there, but I'm watching it here. So I'm right here. If anyone sees me looking to my left, your right, it's because I'm watching right now Billy Corgan sing, and Tom Morello and Tony Carey from Tool and KK Downing.
Oh, they're doing a Black Sabbath song right now.
And Rudy Sarzo.
I'm going to give you an update right now. What's happening at the stadium right now?
Okay, so this isn't what you're seeing on the stream. This is what's happening.
They're doing Snowblind right now.
Well, no, that's on the stream. Yeah, on the stream, they're doing Snowblind right now. Billy Corgan
on the stream, they're doing Snowblind right now. KK Downing is there. Billy Corgan is on lead vocals.
Yep.
I don't mind Billy Corgan.
Guitar,
I don't mind Billy Corgan
bass
at all. But wow, it's Billy Corgan, Rudy Sarzo, KK Downing doing a fabulous job.
Tom Morello, Tony Carey playing drums from Tool.
So I'm going to ask everybody out there. So what people who have been watching the stream, what do you think about this so far? And we'll give you our summary of the first half of the show, if you don't mind. Perrin, we can start off with everybody text in. How many songs did Tobias from Ghost do? Did you see Tobias yet?
No, he's going to be coming up soon.
Let me see if he's on stage right now. Hold on.
No, he should be coming up any minute now.
I got Fernando. He's in the stadium right now as we speak. I'm texting him. He's sending me pictures and songs and all that fun stuff. Okay, let's start off with how this show began, and we'll go to the present. And what I mean by the present, what's happening in the stream and what's actually happening real time at the stadium. So from what I'm seeing right now, what's happening live at the stadium, we're probably about... Are we almost at Tool?
Yeah, where are we? Tool has finished playing at the stadium. So that means we're probably getting ready for Slayer.
Yeah. So I'm asking Fernando if Tool finished and what Sabbath song he played. Actually, you know what? I should get his voice. All right, let's start this thing out. Let's start it off as as everybody's patiently waiting here. I don't want to throw everybody too off. Okay. Mastodon started it off. What'd you think?
I wasn't watching Mastodon live, but I did see a clip.
That's right.
So I only saw Super-Not. But Super-Not was fantastic. So I thought Mastodon was a great way to kick off the show. Obviously, they just had some personnel changes, so you kind of ask yourself how rehearsed, how tight are they going to be, or whatever. And like I said, I did not see them do two of their own songs they opened with, but I did see a clip of them doing Super-Not. And I thought Super-Not was fantastic. And I think with the Sabbath songs that everyone's doing, you can't help but ask yourself, is that the right song for them? And I think Super-Not was the right song for Mastodon to be doing.
Brandaler, the drummer, he sang it. And I thought they did a pretty good job. I mean, they are a Doom band, right? Their roots are Sabbath and Doom and Sludge. They did Black Tongue, Blood and Thunder, and the Black Sabbath tune. I know, Perrin, we're kind of debating this. How many songs are they going to do that are Black Sabbath, and how many songs of their originals? So do you think this is a good mix? Two of their own and one cover.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You know, I keep saying to people, I see people kind of commenting on the stream and commenting on the Metal Voice. What a ripoff! Like, did you people think every band there was going to play a full set? Guys, this is Live Aid. This is the Freddie Mercury tribute concert. Live Aid and the Freddie Mercury concert worked the exact same way. You know, at Live Aid, every band played about 3 songs and left. At the Freddie Mercury tribute, each band played maybe 2 of their own songs, and they did a Queen cover. So this is the exact same thing. So, and that's the way you get like a whole bunch of people able to participate. Because if everyone did an hour set, then okay, you could maybe pick 6 or 7 bands to be there and make it an all-day thing, but that would be it. So I don't know why people are complaining. So yeah, this is the right way to do it.
People like to complain.
Yeah. Well, you know,
so I thought it was a great start. Mastodon kicked things off. 3 songs, it's good enough, right? 2 originals, one cover, 2 originals. I think it's a great way to be. They fit. That's kind of fit. And you know what? We will be a little critical of how they cover the songs, but at the end of the day, it is a celebration, so we're not going to be too critical.
Yeah, I mean, you know, right. You don't want it to be a straight copy. And I will say, like, the early bands had 15 minutes each. For some people, 15 minutes can be 3 songs. For some people, 15 minutes could be 2 songs. For some people, 15 minutes could be 4 songs. It just depends, you know, are you playing a 3-minute song or are you playing a 6-minute song? So that's what it comes down
to. Rival Sons, they were next up. They did Electric Funeral and Secret and Do Your Worst. So again, 2 originals and Electric Funeral by Black Sabbath. I thought, look, I'm not a big fan of Rival Sons, but I think they did a pretty decent job on Electric Funeral.
And they did it a little bit differently, whereas most bands seem to be playing their song,
yes.
Then Sabbath. Rival Sons did their song, then Electric Funeral, then Secret, their song. So they a little bit of a little different configuration there. And you know, I've actually seen Rival Sons open for Black Sabbath here in Montreal, and I can't remember if it was the Ends tour or the one before that, but or the 13 tour. But I definitely saw Rival Sons open for Sabbath. I wouldn't call myself a huge fan. I'm aware of them, but I was actually impressed. You know, when you're not a fan of a band and you're watching them, you know, you're kind of like, I like this or I didn't like this. And I have to say, I would probably call their performance one of the 3 best of the day that I've seen so far.
Wow. I guess I'm not a big fan, but I can respect their style of music, and people who like that style, that's cool. You know, it's
Vernon Reid from Living Colour just came on stage.
Oh, let's take this headphone here is actually the stream.
On the stream. So on the stream, Vernon Reid and Sammy Hagar.
Actually, Sammy Hagar is on. I wasn't going to talk about Sammy Hagar, but
Sammy Hagar is everywhere. David Lee Roth is not.
All right. So there's
Even
the
though
recap.
David Lee Roth opened for Black Sabbath.
Wait a second. David Lee Roth is jumping on stage, pushing Sammy right off. Nope, that's not happening. That's wishful thinking. That's called. All right. Jim Harrison saying, he's got a good stream. Is everybody out there actually watching the stream? The stream's pretty good for me. It's been pretty stable. I guess it depends on your internet connection and where you are in the world.
So really cool. They just zoomed in on Vernon Reid's guitar, and Vernon Reid must be going around backstage and having everybody sign his guitar. So Vernon Reid's guitar has like signatures like all over it of, I assume, the who's who that's there right now.
Let me give everybody a recap on the stream. What's Sammy Hagar singing right now?
I'll tell you here. I'm going to tell you in 2 seconds.
Oh. Flying High Again. We can hear that, parent. Flying High Again. That's what Sammy Hagar is singing. I thought he was going to do Jump or something. Or Hot for You.
No, well, it's already happened, right? So I think they also played Rock Candy from Mount Montrose.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get back to the early part of the day. Anthrax set list. Wow, this is like a surprise. They only did 2 songs. I am assuming there must have been sort of a cutback there. Maybe they were running over or...
No, well, Indians is a long song. That's the thing, right? Indians is pretty long because they did the whole, war dance and so Indians is pretty long. And then Into the Void, which they did, is pretty long. So, like I said, they had 15 minutes. Just like everyone else had 15 minutes. But if you play 2 long songs, that's your 15 minutes.
Yep. Hold on a sec, guys. I'm getting some... Who is on now? Just want to know what's going on at the stadium. Who's on right now?
So,
Indians, Into the Void. I mean, I think, look, Anthrax, Joey Belladonna, he can sing. I mean, it's not like he can't sing, and I'm sure they played the song many, many times in the past.
Well, so when I heard they were doing Into the Void before I saw it on the stream, that surprised me. So I didn't, because don't forget, they covered Sabbath Bloody Sabbath on the I'm the Man EP, remember?
Yeah.
So I thought they would maybe just do what we've heard them do before. So I was kind of surprised they were doing Into the Void. And actually, I thought Indians was only so-so. It's funny because it's their own song. But I thought they nailed Into the Void. And, you know,
All
that's
right.
such a...
I got an update from the stadium. So again, we're summarizing. There's the live stream that has a 2-hour delay or an hour and 30-minute delay. And then we have in the stadium, I'm getting Slayer information. They're playing South of Heaven. They just played Raining Blood.
Wow.
So I'm waiting for the Black Sabbath cover. So there you go, everybody. There's an update. Slayer is now performing South of Heaven and Raining Blood at the stadium. It's not on the stream yet. So stream is 2-hour delay. I have real time. I got Fernando, who's on the scene, sending me pictures, giving me updates as we speak. So let's go into the next one. Halestorm. What'd you think?
Not my cup of tea. And so I'd say that's probably my least favorite performance of the day. Beyond them not being my cup of tea, I do like Halestorm and Lizzie Hill do a lot of covers, and I generally like her doing covers. But this was my first head scratcher of the day, right? So they do 2 of their songs, which I can take or leave, and then they do Perry Mason. So I'll go on record and I say I think it's disrespectful for people to be doing Ozzy solo songs, because this is supposed to be about the original Black Sabbath, not the original Black Sabbath and Ozzy solo. So I get it. It's a Sharon production. We're celebrating both, I guess. But Perry Mason, I don't know. I don't know if at this event on this day, anybody needs to be doing Perry Mason. That's my opinion.
Who's on bass? Blanca's saying who's on bass. Guys, who is in the bass?
On the stream right now, it's Rudy Sarzo.
Rudy Sarzo is on the stream. But going back to Halestorm, so I would agree with you. This is an Ozzy / Black Sabbath final show, right?
Well, so Sharon has made it that, yes.
Yeah, so it's obvious that Sharon did push, the Ozzy songs like Perry Mason to be played. Halestorm, if you ask me, I kind of like, that was a bathroom break. Maybe I had a little snack, but I came back for Perry Mason and I found it. Yeah, it's good. If you walked into a bar and somebody was covering that song, there you go. I find she just over sings. She always over sings, like always yelling and always over singing, like she's trying to prove something. Yeah. I respect her and I respect the fans that like her music. I'm not knocking them personally. It's just not for me.
Yep. And she comes back later and we'll talk about that in a sec. And I think maybe there was a better song choice for her then. But I don't know. The Halestorm set and Perry Mason didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, so Sammy Hager's on right now. Nuno is actually speaking to the crowd. This is on the live stream. Oscar saying, where do we watch the show for free? I don't know where you watch the show for free, but I do know for $20 you could watch the show. It's pretty cheap.
There is no free. It'll be free. Maybe
we're not here. And I said this at the opening, my opening statement on this show today, that we're just going to be doing play-by-play. We're not broadcasting because we don't have a license to do so.
And guys, it's $20. I think mine came out to $24. Like seriously, you can watch this. It's a 9-hour show, and you can watch it back for 48 hours for $24, tax and service charges in. Stop looking for it for free and watch the damn thing. And the money goes to charity, apparently.
Yeah. Lamb of God.
So again, Lamb of God. Not my favorite band, but they are the new Pantera, right? They have picked up the mantle of that power, not quite groove because they're not groovy, but that heavy set, that fan loves Lamb of God right now. So, what I like about Lamb of God is the intensity with which they deliver whatever they deliver. Having said that, they're a bit noisy for me. So again, this is just my personal taste. I'm not a Lamb of God fan. I've probably seen them like 5 or 6 times live because I go see Megadeth, Lamb of God is there. I go see In Flames, Lamb of God is there. I go to a festival, Lamb of God is there. I see Metallica, Lamb of God are opening. So I think I've seen Lamb of God like 6 times, not necessarily by choice.
I my friend, I think they opened up for Megadeth once, and so there I am. I'm consciously
Megadeth opened for them.
I was consciously trying to listen to their music, and always trying to get into them. And again, this is a personal thing. I can't get into their music. It's just, there's something, there might be a song or two that's okay, but this is my personal opinion. I think they could have found another band to play other than Lamb of God. There are just so many
No, Jimmy. So I'm not going to say that,
bands.
Jimmy. Lamb of God are massive. They are one of the biggest for the kind of metal they do. There's nobody bigger. Like
Yeah, but they don't fit in the Black Sabbath world, if you ask me.
Well, I mean, look, I think they did okay with Children of the Grave. I think it worked. I mean, Randy Blythe is a good front man. So again, I don't like them, but they have a place here. They are one of the biggest metal bands in the world right now.
Well, I don't think this is all only about the biggest metal bands in the world, because Halestorm is not one of the biggest metal bands in the world.
Lizzie Hale is a big name. I mean, again, they're also trying to appeal to different demographics, right?
Yeah, well, I just think personally, the Lamb of God, I mean, again, if you like Lamb of God, that's all good. I have nothing against you or what you like, it's all subjective. Personally, I think they could have found another band other than Lamb of God, but I get what you're saying. They want to have different genres and different styles and to appeal to different people. JV saying Milli Vanilli should have opened for Ozzy, but did they both pass away, Milli Vanilli?
I think Millie is around, but
Vanilli's gone.
maybe they're both. It was Rob and Fav, so I don't know.
Well, look, Bates is saying, I'm going to read the comments here too. Bates is saying Rival Sons and Hailstone honestly should not have been on the bill. I would agree with you. I think this is where politics come into play, where this is my friend and you're my friend, and because you're my friend, I'm going to let your band start the show off. I don't think Rival Sons is of the caliber of most of these groups here that are on stage.
Oh, look, there's probably French. Look, Rival Sons opened an American Sabbath tour. I think it was the End tour. So, there's definitely a relationship there because they were on tour together for a long time. So, and again, I think, you're doing a show like this. It can't just be all one kind of metal because you want to sell as many streams as possible. So you want the Lamb of God fan buying it, and you want the Pantera fan buying it, and the Lizzie Hale fan buying it, and the Rival Sons fan buying it. So
here's let's see if I could do this.
I was pleasantly surprised by Rival Sons.
Let me take a look at what I'm getting sent videos by Fernando live here. So what's he saying? It's Slayer. I see Slayer. He says opening song was Angel of Death. Okay, so this is a confirmation. We have South of Heaven, Raining Blood, and the opening song was Angel of Death. That's very cool.
Crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Actually, you don't really hear of them opening of Angel of Death very much.
Tanvir saying here, why is there a delay in the UK? We have them live. I believe when we bought the stream, there was this note saying because they wanted to have a global sort of stream, that was one of the sort of drawbacks that there would have been a delay.
Look, it's also a safety net, right? That if something goes wrong, they can kind of fix it, and when you watch it back, you could be okay. So there's kind of that as well.
Yeah. Well, now K-Man's weighing in onto Tanvir and saying, Tanvir, the entire stream is delayed 2 hours, even in the UK. So there you go. So
and just
Tanvir might think what's happening live is not actually happening.
So, Jimmy,
live.
just a correction from what you're hearing live. So, according to Setlist FM, Slayer did not open with Angel of Death. So, apparently, they did Disciple, War Ensemble, South of Heaven, Raining Blood, Angel of Death.
Okay. All right. So, anyways, the songs are there.
Setlist FM is right because it's like Wikipedia. You can just go in there and edit it,
Look, the songs are there, right? In what order, or that can be debated, right? We were not there, so it's hard for us to tell. But I like to see what Sabbath song they're going to play. See, to me, Slayer fits into the mold of Sabbath, very similar to the, let's say, Mastodon world, right? Johnny Burbank saying, Jimmy, you need to be paying attention to Sammy. What's Sammy doing? Let's see. Let's take a look. Quick look.
Yeah, so I think Sammy's wrapping up right now, but Sammy did get a lot of.
They're playing Hot for Teacher. All right, that's it. Okay. So Tanvir saying, really, I was watching another reaction video that seemed live. I'm obviously losing it. So yes, JV is saying, I would not want to see a full show of grandpas. Seriously, dude, it's better to die young, legend in your prime. Hendrix, Burton. I don't know. I guess if you're the one who's dying, it's not good.
Ask their family that.
All right, Supergroup A. There was two supergroups. Supergroup A performed, and now we're getting to what you're talking about. We had Mike Borden, we had Dave Elvson, we had Adam Wakeman on keyboards. Nuno was there. Lizzie Hale on vocals, and of course, Jake E. Lee makes his debut. Well, I wouldn't say debut, but he hasn't been on stage in a while. They're doing Ultimate Sin. What'd you think?
Hold on, I got something on the stream that's really cool.
All right, kill the audio.
George from Ghost is singing Bark at the Moon.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. Oh, okay, I see it. Kill the audio, Perrin. Oh, they'll strike us, all right. Okay, let's see. Tanvir is saying, is Michael Sweet appearing with Lamb of God?
Lamb of God already appeared, and the answer was no.
It wouldn't be such
so
a
where
bad
were we? We
idea.
were on the supergroup, right? So we were on the supergroup. So here's where Lizzie Hale kicked off, and I thought she was good. Lizzie Hale did The Ultimate Sin. Again, I don't think they should be doing Ozzy solo songs, but they are. So Lizzie Hale did The Ultimate Sin, and I thought that was really, really cool.
Okay. All right. I thought, again, I thought the music and all the players and the artist, they did a great job. I think she oversang Ultimate Sin. It seems like she's always trying, I guess she's always trying to be a metalhead or be respected by the metalhead. So therefore, she kind of over yells things. But again, if you love Lizzie Hale, you know, who am I? Who the hell am I? I'm just a guy sitting here at a desk watching a live stream.
Yeah, I thought it was good. But then David Draymond from Disturbed came out.
Yes.
And he did Shot in the Dark. And I thought it was terrible. I thought it was not in his range.
Yeah.
Not in his range, and I just did not think it was good at all.
Yeah.
And Jake might have had a couple little problems on that one. Just his audio went out, came back. Again, Jake hasn't played these songs in a long time. I think it's good that they had Jakey Lee with Nuno, because Nuno could obviously play pretty much anything. So, I think Jake was well covered by Nuno. But Jake was Jake. He wasn't perfect. He wasn't like his playing is a virtuistic level.
I'm going to put you on mute. Listen to what's happening right now. Okay. No one could hear you. Listen to what's happening on your stream with Tobias. Okay. Just give me a hand signal when you're, I'm watching. I muted you. Well, I want to hear Tobias. I want to see if you could pull off the range here. Okay. I just want to see if you could do it. Hold on. Actually, it does pretty good. They can't hear you. Hold on, Perrin. Now I'm putting you back on audio. I had you cut off there just because you were listening to it.
Yeah, I'm saying things you thought you'd never see. Tobias Forge on vocals, Vernon Reed on guitar with Nuno Betancourt, Rudy Sarzo on bass, Travis Barker on drums, and Adam Wakeman on keys, doing Bark at the Moon. And it's freaking amazing. Amazing.
You know what, Tobias? I think the reason for his success is definitely the guy can sing. And, you might not like the tone of his voice. You might not like the sound of it. You might not like Ghost songs, but he can definitely sing.
His voice suits Bark at the Moon. And back to David Draymond's voice did not suit Shot in the Dark. Whereas Tobias's voice is absolutely suiting Bark at the Moon.
Also, Draymond did a second song, did he not? Oh, no,
that was
Billy
better.
Corgan.
That's when he did a Sabbath song. He did, was it Sweet Leaf?
Yes, he did Sweetly. Actually, that suited him a little bit more.
And that was in his range, and it was fine. It was good. Shot in the Dark did not work. He does not have a tender voice.
Not to get all political.
Sharon, they just showed Sharon. She's a little verklempt.
Not to get all political and all, but apparently David Draymond was booed during the Back to the Beginning performance. You couldn't hear it on the stream.
On the stream, you heard it. You heard it a little bit. You heard a mix. You heard applause and boos.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a political boo or it was just a boo in general.
Yeah,
So
we don't
that's
know
yet
if it
to
was
be
a "we don't like
determined.
Disturbed" boo, or if it was a "we don't like your stance on this, that, or the other thing" boo.
Yeah, yeah. So that's yet to be determined.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, so it's hard to tell, right? Um, any update on Setlist FM on Slayer songs?
Let's just check that out. Slayer, who plays after Tool.
In the meantime, I will. Okay, we had Sweet Leaf with
No,
David Draymond.
yeah, Setlist FM just has the 5 Slayer songs. It doesn't even note them playing a Sabbath song. So again, Setlist FM is often wrong because anybody can go in and edit it.
Yeah. By the way, Ugly Kid Joe. Who's the name of the singer? What's his name again?
Whit Crane.
Whit
And
Crane.
that was a surprise also. They did Believer.
Off of Ozzy's first album. Sorry, off of
Yeah,
Ozzy's
and
second
actually, I thought
album.
they did a
Diary of
really
Madman.
good job of that. So yeah, Whit Crane on lead vocals for Believer. I thought that was terrific.
Stu is asking why you guys not watching the show. We actually are watching the show here, but we're reacting to the show here. And I'll tell you why, because if you don't have a license, they'll yank your show. Maybe some other people might be like displaying the stream live, but it will be just in a few days where they will get strikes.
So Steven Tyler just came out on the stream. Mute me for a second, Jimmy. I'm going to tell you what he's playing.
Hold on a second. I'll tell you when you're mute. So you can still hear me when I mute you. Okay, go. I muted you. I could still hear you, but you're just muted to the world. Oh, Steven Tyler hit the stage on the stream, the 2-hour delay stream. What's he doing?
Well, they're doing Train Kept a Rollin' from, well, it's a cover, but the Aerosmith version of Train Kept a Rollin'.
Getting back to what Ugly Kid Joe did, Believer. I thought, Whit can actually sing. I mean, he's a great singer, right?
Yeah, I thought that was one of the surprises of the day. And was it perfect? No. But was it good? Yeah, I liked it.
Guys, Guns N' Roses is up next, by the way. That is at the...
Guys, we're gonna finish wrapping up the first part of the show, by the way, and then we're gonna let you all go watch, and we're gonna go watch, and we're gonna come back later. So
I'm gonna leave. I just want to give everybody a heads up here. I want to tell everybody, actually, when Steven Tyler goes off, that's when we'll pause. It'll be a big pause. I'll leave a sign right here on the stream. It'll still be streaming, and it'll say we will be back. So we'll be back after what? What would you say? 20 minutes?
Well, no, I don't think it'll be 20 minutes. I think it'll be longer than that. We'll have to see. Well, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We're going to leave the stream running. It'll just say we'll be back, and I'll chop it up later. But
yeah, no script today, guys. We're unscripted today.
We're unscripted. We don't know what the hell we're doing.
But before we log off, because now it's going to be Tool on the stream. Personally, I don't really care about Tool and that kind of thing. But I do want to see Pantera on the stream. I do want to see Slayer. Yeah.
I can also say there's been, throughout the stream, for those of you who don't have the stream, there's been a lot of sort of video messages. The last video message I saw was from Dolly Parton, which I thought a little weird, but, who doesn't love Dolly, right? There was a lot of messages from fans around the world. There's a lot of messages from people, I guess, within the band's family. And that's what you get with the stream. So it's it's a pretty good stream. So
and I think Ronnie Wood is out there with Steven Tyler right now. Don't quote me on my aging rock stars, but I think that's Ronnie Wood.
I see Tom Morello. I see Steven Tyler, and maybe he's on the side there.
Ronnie Wood's next to Sarzo right now.
There's Sarzo. Okay. All right. Okay, well, a second. I got a Slayer message right now. Get something completely unrelated. I guess they're playing in London tomorrow, Slayer. Okay, so did we forget anything here?
Well, Alice in Chains and Gojira. So Alice in Chains for me was the highlight of the day so far. They were just fantastic. Man in the Box, Wood, and Fairies Wear Boots, which was amazing.
You know what? I might ask. I was going to ask somebody to jump on, but you know what? Maybe we'll just take a pause. I think Alice in Chains was great. This Fairies Wear Boots was actually very good. I agree with you.
Yeah. And then Gojira after them, I thought were quite good as well. Gojira
Yes.
is really moving up the ranks in terms of their status ever since the Olympics. And I thought Gojira were really, really good. And they did what did they do under the sun? What did they do?
I gotta look for it. I had it.
Seconds.
I had it right here. Godzilla.
Gojira.
Gojira.
Yeah, Under the Sun. Yeah, they did Under the Sun, and it was great.
And they also played their cover there.
Yeah. So on the stream, it looks like Supergroup is winding down, and that means coming up on your stream, folks, run to your TVs, because I think we're about to get Pantera in a few minutes. Let me just see.
Gojira played Stranded, Silvera, Mea Culpa, and Under the Sun by Black Sabbath from Volume 4.
So Supergroup B seems to be just winding down, and then it's going to be Pantera on your stream, followed by Tool and Slayer.
Okay.
And in real life, Slayer just wrapped up, and people are waiting for Guns N' Roses.
You know, I think that's getting exciting. I don't know if we should. I think we should jump on not too far away. There's 328 people watching right now. All right, so listen. I'm gonna pause everything here. We're gonna be back. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody, we will be back shortly. So I'll leave the stream on, and you could actually, whoever's watching right now, you can actually go back to what we just said and we talked about, and we'll be back online.
We'll be back. All right.
All right. Hold on. Okay, folks, we are back. Yes, I know we had to figure something out. We had some technical issues. We had to just take a look at stuff. We wanted to see if we could stream everything. Just so everybody knows, as I mentioned at the beginning of this stream, and I know we were paused for about 15 minutes, we're not broadcasting the show, because if we broadcast it, we will get taken down as per Sharon. So we'll give you play-by-play what's happening on the stream right now and what's happening live at the stadium. We have people, our friends are there at the stadium. They're sending us messages on what's going on. Here's the update. Perrin, let's go to Pantera update here.
Yeah, well, Pantera is just on the stream. Pantera is just winding down their set.
Interesting enough, they're playing Electric Funeral. Did not every band? How many bands played Electric Funeral today?
I don't think anyone else has played it.
Hold on a sec. I'll tell everybody what's going on with Guns N' Roses after this. Let's see. Did anybody play Electric
Guns N' Roses, if this is to believed, are going pretty deep.
You're right. I thought somebody else played.
No, you're right. Rival Sons played Electric Funeral.
I'm not crazy.
I think Pantera. Well, Pantera did Planet Caravan, like they have been known to do.
Yeah.
And they also went into Electric Funeral. So hey.
So what'd you think of Pantera?
Pantera probably don't even know that Rival Sons played. They weren't even in the building at the time.
Well, you know what? If we're gonna say fit, Pantera fits more into that Black Sabbath, covering the Black Sabbath songs, which I found really cool.
Yeah.
All right, here's the Guns N' Roses update. I thought this was fairly interesting. Right now, Guns N' Roses is on stage in Britain. It's All Right, a Black Sabbath cover. See that?
Yeah, I gotta say, I thought Guns N' Roses was a bit of the odd duck on this bill. Like, I don't see how the Guns N' Roses, Steven Tyler, Sammy Hagar's fit into this, right? But, so Guns N' Roses, according to Setlist.fm, and Jimmy's boots on the ground might confirm this, they opened with "It's All Right," the Black Sabbath cover. They went into Never
Pause. I got some information here, some breaking news at the stadium. Wait, you got to hear this. Apparently, they ran out of food.
Well, metalheads like to eat.
Look at this. Food was very limited already. It's 7:30 p.m. in UK. There is no more food in the stadium. What the F?
Okay, can people not wait 3 hours to eat? The show finishes at 10:30. You'll live.
I don't know if this means water here. I think there's some upset people here.
No, if it's water, that's a problem.
Okay, wait up. Let's bring on Tanvir. Let's bring on Tanvir too. I know everybody, again, I will say this, people around the world, we're not streaming it. We're just giving you play-by-play here. Also, no staff in the kiosk takes 1 hour to get a drink. Food queues are ridiculous. They ran out of food. It's an hour to get a drink of something, and I'm assuming it's hot, right? So Fernando is boots on the ground there at the stadium. We'll get back to Guns N' Roses in a minute. Let me bring on Tanvir, folks. We're still going to be live here. I'm just going to bring on Tanvir. Hold on. Bring on Tanvir.
And Tool are coming up next on the stream.
Yeah. So Guns N' Roses, poorly managed, don't even cut it. So Tanvir?
Hi, Jimmy. Am I in? Or?
You're in. We're live. Tanvir, thanks for
live.
jumping on. So you're here
Ben.
to give us. You're here to just give us a little bit of the UK British background on Black Sabbath. That's what you're here for. Again, I will tell everybody who's joining the stream right now, we're not streaming the show. It's illegal for any public use of the stream. We will be taken down. We can give you play-by-play of what's happening on the stream and what's happening live at the stadium right now. So, Tanvir, you came on just in time as we were going to discuss. There is, here, listen to this, Tanvir. I don't know if this is a British thing. You tell me. They've run out of food at the stadium. It's 7:30 p.m. There's 1 hour to get drinks. It's the 1 hour queue to get drinks. And it's just poor management overall. That's what they're saying. That's one person. That's boots on the ground. Fernando's telling me this right now. So,
wow, to run out of food. How does that happen, Jimmy?
Look, maybe he's exaggerating and he's mad and he didn't really run out of food, but maybe it's such a long queue that there's, I'm going to ask him, no food at all?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know how these things go. At the end of the day, there's an operations person someplace saying this many people are coming. You know, our information that we have is the typical person at a show eats this much, so this is how much we order.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a bunch of hungry metal people there today. And
if it was an Asian wedding and we had run out of food, there would be riots.
Or any ethnic wedding, Tanvir, or shall I say, David?
I'm getting confirmation from Fernando where he's sitting somewhere in the seats. Nothing. Haha.
Well, look, it's 7:30 there. The show's over at 10:30. You guys can all go for some fish and chips just outside the venue later. You know,
always fish and chips.
Fine.
Always fish and chips.
No,
what do
it would be,
David Tanvir? What do Brummies eat?
Brummies would have. I mean, I'm gonna verge into the Brummie accent soon, aren't I? But no, I think pies are older age in the Midlands. So we're going to get a few comments here saying, what's this softy southerner talking about the Midlands for and so forth. So do expect that, Jimmy. You'll get that. But yeah, fish and chips, not so much of it's more of a coastal thing down here. But yeah, it'll be pies. Lots of that's why they would have been stocked with pies to have there. But as long as the drink is running, I'm sure they're going to be okay there.
Okay, well, listen, guys. I trust in the British. Somebody will bring some food.
And guys, yes. Look, here's the thing, though. If a show like this, there's no intermission, right? Because they have the rotating stage. So, I mean, look, now you're getting into Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Ozzy Solo, and Black Sabbath. Nobody should be queuing up for food or drink now. Like, you should be all food and drunk up, and you really should not be leaving your viewing area at this point. Now, if you want to go get in line and get some food during the Supergroup jam, or even while Tool plays an unnecessarily long progressive song, fine, go do that. But, I don't think now is the time to be going to get your food.
Well, look, this is funny because Pure Rock Steve 69 says, it's news if someone reports that they ran out of weed. Especially at a Black.
Well, that was Bring Your Own, I think.
Well, the other thing is so many bands have their own beers now, right? Their own drinks. So Maiden have it. Motorhead have got their... Does Sabbath have anything on that front? It seems to be fair. I've seen an Ozzy drink, I have to say.
Apparently they ran out today. Either way.
Oh,
Look,
Jimmy, describe the atmosphere. What are you seeing in from? What's it like there?
I'm seeing, now the stadium's getting bigger and bigger. I just want to tell somebody, I'm repeating this thing over and over. See, guys, this is not a stream. This is just a play-by-play. We're just reacting to what people are sending us at the stadium. If you want a free stream, there is no free stream. If you can pirate it, well, you got to go find it somewhere else. It says it right in the description. We are not streaming the show here. So I just want everybody to just say it right up front. We cannot legally stream it. Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that, but we can give you play-by-play.
Jimmy and Perrin are reacting, and I'm reacting to their reaction.
Yes.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
Now, Tanvir, have you been watching this today, or did you refrain?
You know what? I've sort of, as you know, I was so enthusiastic in terms of trying to get tickets to this thing when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I feel like a glutton. Well, a bit of a, that sort of sums it all, that I wasn't able to get a ticket at a fair price and so forth. But no, I've kept myself very busy today doing numerous things. I've just finished up cleaning after the family lunch, so nice. I'm quite pooped, to be honest. Yeah,
guys,
I'm sure by tomorrow
Jimmy.
There'll be a lot of
I'll show you. There it is. You're asking what does it look like?
That's wow! Look at that.
See that?
Yeah.
So who's on the stage at the moment?
That's I believe it's Guns N' Roses. This is Guns N' Roses right here. So guys, this is a video that Fernando is taking for us. And he's sending videos, but I turned the volume off because I can't.
And how's Axl's vocals? I mean, what do we know what the set list is? Are they?
We do. We do.
So I was reading this. So
let's go.
Get this, Tanvir. This is if Setlist FM is to be believed. Guns N' Roses opened with "It's All Right" by Black Sabbath.
Technical Ecstasy, yeah.
Followed by "Never Say Die." Followed by "Never Say Die."
Whoa.
Followed by "Junior's Eyes." Guns N' Roses doing "Junior's Eyes." Followed by Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. And then they did Welcome to the Jungle in Paradise City.
Bold.
Yeah, so we're not in like War Pigs, Iron Man, Paranoid territory. We're getting some deep cuts here. So that's kind of incredible.
Yeah, that's bold. Yeah,
I won't see on the stream for another hour and a half, so I'm looking forward to seeing that afterwards.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna right here. I think Metallica is set to play next, and then Ozzy. I'm curious to see what Ozzy songs Ozzy's gonna play, because he's only gonna be playing for 20 minutes, and then
something like that. So you'd have to think
minutes.
about what people haven't covered yet. You'd think he's gonna play Crazy Train. You'd think he's gonna play. Maybe he opens with I Don't Know, Crazy Train. Flying High Again was played over. I don't know if they do Over the Mountain. So anyway,
guys, so we have two feeds going on here. Everybody who's just popping in right now, we have the feed from the stream, which has a 2-hour delay. So all those people are looking for a free stream. I don't know. I can't help you there, but I pay $20 and I have a stream that I can watch on my private computer.
Seriously, people stop looking for free streams. This was
for the love of God, $20.
It's $20
cheaper than a CD, for the love of God.
And this is allegedly a charity event, right? So,
okay, that's number one. Number two, we have Fernando. We have other friends at the stadium sending us pictures and updates on the set list. So we're kind of doing that. Let's get back to this Guns N' Roses set list. It's All Right. Who would have thought? Who would have played? Only Guns N' Roses plays the obscure stuff.
Right.
That's
the last thing I would have expected today. I thought we were going to get a steady stream of Electric Funeral and that kind of thing. But
I think that's probably Slash's influence. Actually, I
think Slash and Axl, they have this obscure taste for not of the typical. Songs, right, that we all love.
Yeah,
right?
They know. Well, I mean, knowing Guns N' Roses, they'll turn it into. They have such a unique sound. Whatever song they play will sound like Guns N' Roses, right? I mean, that's the thing. So, to be fair, they can get away with any track, but that's bold. I mean, you've got to be. I mean, look. People will say, how does Axl sound and his voice? I don't know. But the point is, that's a really bold choice of songs. And You've got to give them credit for that. I mean, what if the just a quick recap, Jimmy? What about the other bands? What songs, for example, Rival Sons and Anthrax? What tracks did we have there?
So Tanvir, here's what I'll do. I'll go band by band, and I'll tell you what Sabbath song they played. I'll leave out their songs. So Mastodon, who opened the day, did Supernaut, was their choice.
Oh.
And that went over really well. It went over really well.
They're the perfect band for that track.
Yeah.
You didn't even watch and hear it, and you've actually captured the essence of the band. You got it in your head.
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jimmy and I were saying before that certain bands, you say, yeah, that's the right song for them, and other bands are like, I don't know if I would have tried that one. But for Mastodon, Supernaut was a great choice. Rival Sons did a very good job with Electric Funeral in their set.
Okay.
Anthrax did Into the Void. I was a little surprised that was their choice, but I thought they might do Sabbath Bloody Sabbath because it was on the On the Man EP back in the day. But they did Into the Void. And actually Joey Belladonna did quite the good job.
I was going to ask you that actually, because that's an interesting pick. Great.
Then my first disappointment of the day, Halestorm didn't do a Black Sabbath song. They did Perry Mason from Ozzy. And I don't really think this should be a day to be celebrating Ozzy solo, but that is apparently happening.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, it does feel. Okay, let's not be negative, but it does feel like the Ozzy Osborne and Sabbath event.
This is a Sharon Osbourne production, and you're absolutely right, Tanvir. That's what it is. That's what it is.
But Perry Mason, I mean,
we could have gone on some. I mean, it's not a bad song.
I like Perry Mason, but Halestorm doing Perry Mason.
I don't know if
Jimmy, they were great. They were good at Maiden. I saw them live at Maiden. As I say, I was a Halestorm virgin, and live, she's got it. She has got it.
She could sing. Add in like the song choice. Lamb of God did Children of the Grave, and I'm not a huge fan, but they did well. I mean, it suited them. They had a very intense set.
And is the sound? How is the sound in the stadium for that? Because that would have been.
I'm gonna ask right now.
Tell you.
Okay.
I'll continue with this, Jimmy. So then.
Yeah.
Then they had Supergroup A, right? They have a couple different supergroups. So a supergroup came out with Nuno Betancourt on guitar and Mike Borden from Faith No More on drums, Adam Wakeman on keyboards, Rudy Sarzo on bass, and different singers. So Lizzie Hale came back, and she did The Ultimate Sin from Ozzy, and she nailed that one. She nailed it. I'll give her credit for that. She nailed it. I thought. Jimmy doesn't seem to think so.
I think she oversings. I just think she oversings.
Yeah. Then, for me, the low light of the day, David Draymond from Disturbed came on. He did Shot in the Dark. Not in his range. Not.
Yeah. She could have done that.
Yes, I completely agree. I don't get it. But then he stayed on and he did Sweet Leaf, and that was much better. So that just, Sweet Leaf suited David Draymond. Shot in the Dark absolutely did not. Low light of the show for me, him doing that song. Sweet Leaf was great.
Herring, just to interlude, am I right in saying that, because I've seen some footage of Jakey Lee somewhere. Oh, yeah. He's in Birmingham, right?
Yeah, sorry. He was in
Birmingham.
He was there as well.
Oh, he was on stage?
Yeah, he was on stage. And,
fantastic.
He's playing with Nuno, so I think Jakey Lee isn't as rehearsed as Nuno is, so he was well backed up. Yeah. But it was great to see him, and he played really well. So, so I should have mentioned that Jake was playing on The Ultimate Sin and Shot in the Dark, so he was playing on these songs.
Yeah, that's nice for him. That's a nice nod.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people...
He was thrilled, maybe even I'd say a little nervous to be back on, oh, look, there's me on a screen 80 feet tall behind me. Like, I don't think Jake has seen that in a long time, right? So, so good.
And you're also alongside Nuno Betancourt, who is a phenom as well.
There's a lot of comments. Nuno Betancourt was also back for the second jam, and Nuno is actually taking a lot of place in the show today, and I think he is a de facto musical director. He really seems to be directing a lot of traffic out there and doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And,
guys, I just want to add this, Basketball Jones just texted, just watched earlier Van Halen cover of Tomorrow's Dream. And I think we all forget, or at least we need to remember, that Van Halen opened up for Sabbath, right?
Yes.
And there is that Van Halen connection.
Infamously, Jimmy. I mean, there's still a lot of not debate, but there's a kind of a thing that first and foremost there seem to be the number of people that claim to have seen Van Halen support Sabbath is over the world population at the time, and secondly the stories of Van Halen blowing Sabbath away, and
there's a kind of I would have liked to see here's my point. Sorry to cut it. I would have liked to see Alex Van Halen there, maybe David Lee Roth there, sort of that connection, right? I mean, Wolfie was supposed to be there, but I mean, does he really belong there? I mean, other than the fact that he's got the last name, right?
Yeah. Well, Sammy did great. We'll get to that. So then, continuing the All-Star Jam, this was the surprise, I thought, of up to that point. Whitfield Crane of Ugly Kid Joe, with Travis Barker from Blink-182 on drums, and Nuno was still there, and Vernon Reid from Living Colour. I mean, there's so many people in and out, it was hard to keep track. They did Believer, and that was just great. I was not expecting to hear Believer today, and even though I don't think this should be a showcase for Ozzy songs, it was pretty cool. So they played Believer. A person I don't know, a young singer named Youngblood, did Changes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
he's obviously young.
Yeah, and I don't know. There's some, you know what I'm realizing today.
What?
We talk about the engine of Sabbath is really Iommi and Butler and their writing, and they really invented. Ozzy is a better singer we give him credit for, because a lot of people have a hard time doing these songs. And that's what I'm noticing.
Guys, Ozzy era, just these albums alone. Perrin, to your point, you nailed it. Like, he's got a certain tone and a certain range that is very hard for any singer. Even take Bruce Dickinson doing Ozzy. You just that tone, that droning tone.
And it's not just, and don't forget Bill as well, because I mean they were metal's version of the Beatles. They really were, in terms of each one having a very organic style, better together than they were as individuals, but bringing something so natural and very, very different musicians from each other as well, but just fitting in perfectly. So they are, as I say, they are our Beatles in terms of that. I mean, you hear Bill playing and his sort of, his jazz influenced sort of drum fills and the spacing he has and how naturalistic it is. And
after Perrin finishes up on that, I'm going to talk about exactly what you just
said. Let me
said.
quickly recap. So then Changes, and then Jack Black with kind of a School of Rock thing with young people, including Tom Morello's son, did kind of a pre-recorded Mr. Crowley. They put that on. Then after the Supergroup, we got, I think, was one of the highlights, Alice in Chains doing a 3-song set that ended with Berries Wear Boots. That was just off the charts stellar. Off the charts fantastic. One of the highlights. And then, maybe I shouldn't be surprised by this, because their stature is growing, but Gojira was on after Alice in Chains, and they got a tremendous reaction. They were powerful doing their own songs, and then they closed the set with Under the Sun. And I would say that Gojira were really, like I said, I shouldn't be surprised, but if ever there's a revelation of the day when this is all written up tomorrow, I think Gojira might be seen as this band that's about to take their status from here to here.
How are they received? Because in Europe, they've had a long-standing, I mean, they've been a headline act for quite some time.
From what I saw through the stream, I thought they were well received. I thought
Perrin, Gojira played. Where did they play here? They play Laval.
They played Place Belle in Laval. So they played in this was one of their bigger North American shows, and they played our B arena, so our 10,000 capacity arena. No, it's nothing.
And Montreal is more of a metal city, so if they probably go across North America, they would. Probably
in the rest of the North American tour, they were doing large theaters, small arenas, 4,000 or 5,000 seats. Here they did 10,000, but I mean it's our smaller arena. Our bigger arena is 20,000. So, but I mean still.
Guys, I'm gonna interject here, and I'm gonna let Perrin finish after. The sound. Somebody asked in the chat, "How's the sound like at the stadium?" Or maybe it was you, Tanvir. The sound is good, and now that Metallica is playing, and we'll get to that very soon, they sound even better than everybody else. So the sound is good for a stadium, right? There
Brilliant.
you go. Again, in the chat, guys, I want to know what Ozzy songs he's not on yet. He's on after Metallica. That's in about 10 minutes. What song would you like to hear Ozzy perform, or what song can he perform? Perrin, keep going.
Yeah. So then they did a little drum off of Chad Smith and Tony Carey and Travis Barker. Really nothing much to say there. Then
Pause. I would have done without that, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. They probably have some stuff they got to do, so it's fine. Some technical stuff.
Sure.
Then Supergroup B came out. So Supergroup B was interesting. So Tom Morello was back. Vernon Reid was back. Nuno Betancourt was back. KK Downing appeared. And they did Breaking the Law. So Priest couldn't be there because they're actually in Germany today at the Scorpions 60th anniversary
show. Who was
show.
singing? Billy Corgan.
Sorry?
Billy Corgan was singing
Breaking the Law. Now, Jimmy and I were on live, so I was watching it on mute. I haven't heard it yet. I'm going to watch it back after.
Well, watched it.
There's a lot of critiques of Billy Corgan doing Breaking the Law.
Listen, I like Smashing Pumpkins. I won't lie. But Billy Corgan doing Breaking the Law.
Well, he also did Snowblind. So again, I have to give that a good listen. So Snowblind is one of my top 3 Black Sabbath songs. So the bar there is really.
I think actually his voice might be better suited for Snowblind than Breaking the Law.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Yeah. So we'll see how that went.
Yeah.
Then Jimmy, the bane of his existence, Sammy Hagar was introduced, and
Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy Hagar is everywhere.
What's the Red Rocker connection to Black Sabbath? I don't know. What is it?
Well, it's because he was the frontman of Van Halen.
Bates says he ruined Snowblind. Thank you, Bates, for that comment.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So then Sammy did Flying High again, and giving Sammy's persona of the tequila, drinking, the partying. I haven't given it a good listen, but it fits into his persona.
Yeah.
And then they did Rock Candy from Montrose, and
classic.
Sammy to do that. Then
hang on. What was the reception to that? Because that amongst our community, obviously we all know that album. Everyone adores it. Template for Van Halen. So Van Halen before Van Halen, perhaps, Jimmy. But the point being, what was the crowd reaction to Rock?
Yeah, we were on live, so I'm going to have to watch it back to see.
On my other headphone, I can hear what's going on live. Positive. I mean, as much as I'd like to say negative, it was positive. So it was a good reaction.
And then after that was Tobias, Papa Perpetua V from Ghost came out to front the All-Star Band and did Bark at the Moon. And we heard Jimmy muted me and I watched it for a second. And then we were seeing the comments. He hit it out of the park. I think Bark at the Moon really fits Tobias Forge's, again, his voice and his persona. And it was a home run.
Yeah, I did watch it. Tanvir. And you know what? Ozzy's got this sort of thin drone tone. And so does Tobias. He's got that thin, droney.
Fragile tone.
Fragile is a good word.
It's almost verging on breaking down. It's so fragile.
Yes, I like that word, fragile. They both have that tone, and it works in Ozzy songs. Whereas Billy Corgan sounds like
whiny,
Smashing Pumpkins. And I like the Smashing Pumpkins.
Looking forward to going back and watching that I didn't get a good listen to. I want to hear Tobias's track again. So that looked really interesting.
Okay. And has there been any reference to Randy Rhoads at all? Any? What are the visual props, gents?
So I could tell you. So they have these breaks with live. They have these breaks, video, statements by different bands, by different artists, by different people in the industry. For example, Marilyn Manson was, he did a little 30 seconds about.
They actually just had Angus and Brian on from AC/DC saying a few words.
Dolly Parton had a few words to say. I wonder what her favorite Black Sabbath song is.
Yeah.
I like Dolly. Dolly.
So I just want to wrap up.
Parent, pause. I just want to answer a question. Guys, if you notice the title of this stream, it's called Black Sabbath Back to the Beginning, Reaction and Review. It's not called streaming the show. No, it's not. Okay? Go ahead. Sorry.
So then the end of the jam, Steven Tyler came out. which I don't think anyone knew he was going to be there till yesterday.
Wow.
He wasn't really. I don't know if he was announced. And he did Train Kept a Rollin', and then a jam of Walk This Way and Whole Lot of Love. And I'm not up on my British. Like a lot of people came on the stage at that point, and I think Ron Wood was one of them. So I think so. There's all of a sudden there's people springing up all over the place here that I'm like, wow, what's going on? You know, like. But I think this shows the importance of Black Sabbath. To your point about them being the Beatles of heavy metal. So there's heavyweights. And then back to your thing about Randy Rhoads, I would expect that when Ozzy does his solo part before the Sabbath set, that there's going to be, maybe if they play Crazy Train, Randy's going to be on the video screens or something. I could even see something where I assume Zach is playing with him, so Zach will be playing. Do we know
the band, Perrin? Do we know the band that Ozzy's going to be playing with?
As I said it, I'm like, you know what? I really haven't heard who's playing with Ozzy. But they've said Jake is going to be back, so maybe Jake will be playing with him.
That'd be nice.
It'd be kind of cool if we had, Randy on the screen with Jake and Zach. I'm not so sure Joe Holmes or Gus G are around, but it'd be cool if we saw somehow Randy, Jake, and Zach.
Congratulations to Gus G. He just had a
baby.
Yeah.
We're catching up now. So Pantera, whose stream just ended, came out after the jam. They did the Pantera thing. They did Cowboys from Hell. They did Walk. But they did Planet Caravan as it is on.
Good, yeah.
They believe it's
that's a good pick. Yeah, that's a good pick for them.
And then Jimmy nailed this. It's true. I was surprised. Even though Rival Sons did Electric Funeral, Pantera broke into Electric Funeral. So I don't know if that's scripted, unscripted. But a very different version than you could imagine what Rival Sons would sound like doing it, but you could imagine what Pantera might sound like doing it. So
yeah. I have to say, I do love Rival Sons. I'm a big fan of theirs, and their vocalist Jay Buchanan is, I think, one of the best modern vocalists out there at the moment.
Is that
that's Metallica?
That's Robert Trujillo, on the video.
Yeah, that's Metallica, guys. Metallica's playing right now. This is Fernando is a metal. There, see that? There's all his friends. That's what it looks like. There's still a little bit of light. Look at that.
View.
To be there. Look at big balls everywhere.
Big balls everywhere. What a night.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful.
And actually, I'm on Setlist.fm. Metallica apparently opened with Hole in the Sky, and then went into Creeping Death.
Yeah. There we go. What do you guys think about Hole in the Sky? I guess nobody played it, and I think Metallica would fit.
I think it's kind of a cool opening too.
Yeah.
I think, look, Metallica, like Guns N' Roses, one of those bands that whatever song they play, and they've covered many a song, as we know, over the years, they metallicize it. It becomes a Metallica song, doesn't it? So they kind of, they put their own stamp on it. So a track like that, no problem for them whatsoever.
I'm anxiously awaiting to see the 3 Ozzy songs or 4 Ozzy songs they're going to play. I wonder if Ozzy's going to sing.
Do we know, Jimmy? Let's get to the heart of the matter on some of these things.
Please.
Do we know which band pulled out?
Oh, there's this pulled out. Oh, yeah, well, Sharon said something.
Was kicked off. Well, speculation is it was Megadeth.
Right.
Now, Dave Ellefson is there. Dave Ellefson was part of the All-Star Jam, by the way.
Right.
But there's been speculation that it was Megadeth. So I don't know if that's true or not.
I'm trying to think who would be the troublemaker band that doesn't get along with Sharon.
Yeah, well, look, Dave Mustaine does have a penchant for putting his foot in his mouth. So, I mean,
I
just want to talk about this. I want to talk about these 2 albums here, okay?
Actually, Jimmy, since you mentioned it, what I have here...
Are we skipping the other ones?
Does anybody have
skipping anything. We're not skipping anything here. But we're patiently waiting. We're up to date on what has happened. We've reviewed everything. And now let's just dig into the actually, you know what I want to do before that? I want to read some comments. There's some
I got the black box here, though,
who've been sticking around. Panayotis from Greece. It must be what? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It must be like 10 o'clock there. Hello from Greece. Mike Rizzo, they wanted to get paid and Sharon kicked them off the tour. Do you guys think the bands that are playing today are getting paid, or are they they're doing it at their own expense?
Well, it's a charity event. So if, again, proceeds go to charity. So maybe they're covering basic expenses. Or look. Here's the thing: can Metallica afford to get themselves there and put their entourage in a hotel? Yes. Can Anthrax or Rival Sons or whatever pay their own way? I'm not so sure. So it's probably they cover whatever, and all the proceeds are going to charity.
All right, I'm going to read comments here, and we could comment on the comments. How's that?
Does anyone else have this?
What is that? I just saw this black monolith.
No, it's the black box. This came out years ago. So
I thought it was the Bible.
Black box.
Okay.
Comes with a little book.
That's not black, Jimmy. That's radiance. Yeah, that's bright.
Bible black, they call it.
And it's the 8th original Ozzy records.
Oh, I like it. Very cool.
Okay. Those are very nice.
Well, we're going to pull up the first one. Have the first one ready. Satan West, good old Satan, is telling me that Kelly Osbourne posted on social media that it wasn't Megadeth. It was not
okay.
Megadeth. Guys, everybody who's watching, can you guys any posts on social media saying which band this was? What band?
Totally.
Got kicked off.
And as I say, our viewers, feel free to ask us questions as well.
Slayer is coming up next on the stream, by the way, and Metallica is on stage live.
There's a lot of comments here. John Davis, hello from Michigan. Where's everybody watching from? And again, I will emphasize this. This is a review reaction. This is not a stream of the show. That would be illegal, and they would take us down. Okay. Kelly said not Megadeth. That's somebody else saying that. Wolfgang, I'm hearing. Somebody wrote Wolfgang, but I think that's already known. That
I think he pulled out. He wasn't asked not to come. He pulled out, and he had some scheduling conflicts.
It's very, very, very sexual content there.
Sorry?
He pulled out and he couldn't come. Okay, here we go.
I just went over my
Pamela,
head.
hello from Chile.
Chile.
Buenas noches. What time is it there? Buenas noches.
No, it's getting darker. I'm going to just turn on the lights and I'll be back. So
okay, good. Take your time. Tool just wrapped up their set on the stream.
Slayer up next.
Let's see what the set list so far with Metallica is, and we're going to get into some albums.
Yes.
We still have Hole in the Sky. Okay.
They're a great band, Perrin. Do not
and they had to cut it down to fit it in.
We need bands like that.
Maybe
again, they're not again. And actually, they did Hand of Doom, so I'm curious to hear that.
I mean, maybe Judas Priest was the band that was supposed to play.
No, I don't think they were.
I don't want to start a rumor.
I think
they're on tour. Priest are on tour.
I think they're on tour, Jimmy. Yeah. A Dream Theater on tour in North America at the moment. Perhaps that would.
No. Dream Theater are in Europe right now. They did. They did Pompeii.
The Hound saying Metallica did Johnny Blade. One of the greatest. There it is.
Very cool.
Johnny Blade. That's how you guys say Johnny Blade. Johnny, you got your blade. Okay. Perrin, show the first album, please.
Right.
There it is. That is not Ozzy's wife. That was just a model. Heads up.
Iconic cover.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. That might be, if somebody says, can you explain heavy metal to me? Like this, give them this, Yeah. This was the birth.
The birth. I mean,
if you want, and just the opening.
It was.
The rain.
But remember, they did not see themselves as a heavy metal band here. They were just a hard rock band.
Yeah. I could totally see that at the time. I could see it at the time.
Released on Friday the 13th in 1907 in the UK. Recorded in a 12-hour session.
Crazy, yeah.
Turn on the recorder there, Ozzy. Turn it on. Let's roll. They just did a few overdubs after the fact. But this is why bands were so great back in the day, because they rehearsed, they played, they rehearsed, and then when they walked into the studio, they just played. They played because they know their songs inside and out. That's how much they performed and how much they practiced.
It was necessity, Jimmy, because they weren't, as I say, they wouldn't have had a huge budget. They would have had very limited time in the studio, and it was that urgency that remember, a lot of the bands during this period were putting out 2 albums a year.
Yes.
Some bands even 3. We forget that, and we reflect on, and it's not just in metal, it's in rock in general. So many bands were putting out 2 to 3 albums a year, and we look back at these albums and they're still classics. They're still undisputed classics.
Yeah, they're the bar. They're the bar, frankly. I mean, they're, and again, maybe they weren't, the great part of them inventing heavy metal is they didn't consciously say, let's do this thing and call it heavy metal. It was completely organic. But now, if a young person puts on that first record and the rainstorm and the opening refrain of Black Sabbath and the bells, I mean, that'll blow your hair back. That'll be like, whoa, this is like sinister. I mean, I once saw an interview of Henry Rollins when he said, Black Sabbath, the song, is the sound of a man, rising and balling his fists and becoming angry. And it's just, and it was a very apt description, I thought. It's just,
guys, when I was a little kid,
like
my older cousins had that album, and they showed me the album cover, and I got kind of scared. And then they played the opening track, and this back in the day when everybody had a massive stereos, and just the opening, the triad, the tone, the what is it called, the satanic tritone, what do they call it? Just those powerful chords scared the shit out of me. I had to get baptized again.
The Devil's Fifth, yeah.
The Devil's Fifth.
Well,
there you go. By the way, just an update here. Metallica is doing Battery, and I'll let everybody see this.
Oh,
there is mosh pits going on. Oh, there it is. Oh, no, that's the same video. Sorry. Wrong video.
No, so I can see Robert doing this. A lot of that, Jimmy.
Battery and battery.
There he is.
Man, and confirmed on Setlist FM that they did Johnny Blade. So, Hole in the Sky, Creeping Death, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Johnny Blade, Battery.
Guys, what would you say if you had to pick 2 songs from that debut album? Which are the ones that just stood the test of time and you still love it today?
NIB for me. I mean, NIB for me is still, Nativity Black, right? It's like, it is Black Sabbath. For me, Nativity in Black is Black Sabbath.
Tanvir, what do you think?
I mean, let's go to some different tracks. For me, I still have a soft spot, or perhaps I should say a hard spot for The Wizard. I always have.
Yeah.
So that's still, and obviously
and that was Bill Ward's first showcase. I mean, the drum work in that is just something else.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm going to agree with both of you. If I had to pick 2 songs, it would be NIB, just for that doomy and that riff and that bass. It's so loud and powerful. And
rounded as well.
And there was something about, and I'll go to the fragile vocals of Ozzy. He's just, there's this depression in his voice, right? Is Satan going to take his soul tonight? That kind of voice, he's running scared. That's the tone of his voice.
With Ozzy, there's always been that sense of, and look, we love Ronnie as well. So 2 totally different singers, but with Ozzy, there has always been this sense of just vulnerability. That imperfect, perfect, that sense that, he's not the best singer, but he's sincere. It's that, I don't want to mention another name from another band, but, it's that sort of precarious nature he's on in terms of his vocals and how vulnerable and imperfect he is. And that's why that's what attracts people to Ozzy. That's why he's such a endearing character, because we all know.
Guys, I'm going to mute myself for a second. Slayer is coming on the live stream. I just want to
okay, mute. First mute yourself. I want to see that you're mute. Okay, do a test. Say hello. Good. Okay. All right, he's muted. Okay. I want to get back to this. The Wizard, that harmonica, right? And I think that was the brilliance of Black Sabbath. We'll put in a harmonica, we'll put in a keyboard. It's not going to take away from the metal. Where today it's like, 500 beats per minute. If it's not that, then it's not metal. But look, Black Sabbath, they were heavy, they were dark, they were touching on topics that you weren't allowed to speak about back then, or even today, in some cases. But the sound, they were always open to putting different elements, musical elements in their sound. They were always the harmonica, right? And later on, they brought in orchestras and choirs and all that. So they were that's what made them so great. And for all those young bands starting off, you know what? You don't need to have, machine gun riffs and, 1,000 beats per minute to be a metal band.
You know what? The other factor I will say, Jimmy, it's the drums. What I mean by that is with the records now, especially progressive metal albums, the drum is it's almost machine-like. It's too. Yep. It sounds the same. It's too continuous. It's too on the money, and the humanity has been almost stripped away from it. It's almost. I
love that. I love how you said that. I love that. Yes.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. I'll take a bow. But there is. It's almost they've become so efficient and so effective that humanity has been stripped out of the music, and you get that with these early albums. You get the fact that it's not perfect, but it's so well rounded, and you can almost feel Mr. Ward's arms.
It's not product. I mean, I'm just hearing the end of the conversation here. It's not product, and a lot of music, sadly, is manufactured and is product. And it's, this is in a day before there was like A&R departments saying you got to write a hit, and you have to wear some suits like the Hollies and like whatever. Like, this is again organic.
It was organic. A dangerous band, man. They were a dangerous band. It was dark, and they spoke against the war. They touched about topics you're not supposed to be talking about. But
speaking of dangerous and dark and whatever, I have to say, watching Slayer, it really feels like four people who like are not friends anymore, come from different trailers onto the stage, do their job, and go back to their trailers. Like, I have to say, they're Slayer. They're great. Gary Holt is like looking like the happiest guy in the world. Like, how did I luck into this? And Tom's voice sounds a little weak, I have to say, a little frail. Carrie is Carrie, and Bosstaff is great.
Well, Tom's got to be rusty, parent, surely.
There's so many people on the side of the stage watching them, but they don't seem like Anthrax, God bless them. They just seem like this tight unit, like they're still friends. They see each other all the time.
Well, I don't know if Joey feels that way, but carry on.
Yeah, well, he's had his ups and downs, but I mean, Slayer just really feels like they all just came from a different trailer, got on stage, play, and they'll go back to their own trailers, get on a plane, and leave. Like, it just
guys, this is a breaking news. Metallica's on their last song right now, and they're doing Master of Puppets, and people are losing their shit in the stadium.
Really?
So Metallica is playing Master.
It's
Master.
hardly a surprise.
Yeah. That's the breaking news. So Metallica, let's go through that set list one more time as we going in and out of Black Sabbath. Perrin, what do we have so far for Metallica?
Give me a second here. For Metallica, we have Hole in the Sky, Creeping Death, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Johnny Blade, Battery, and Master of Puppets, which I assume will be their last song.
Guys, I have some more breaking news from Fernando, who's sitting down watching the show at the stadium. Some food is back. Let's see.
Truck arrived.
So right in time for Master of Dessert, the food has arrived. Great stuff. Oh, let's see. Oh, here's some picture here.
Who eats at these concerts? That's what I want to know. An overpriced pie?
There you go.
No, we don't.
You guys don't say wiener over there?
Well,
there
it
he goes.
means
That's
something else
Metallica.
here, Jimmy.
That's Metallica. That's a photo by Fernando. That's where he's sitting.
Great spot. Thank you, Fernando, for all of this.
Yeah, Fernando.
I'm getting flashbacks of ABBA now, Jimmy.
Okay, and let's get back to this. The second album by Black Sabbath. Here it is. Paranoid. Guys, just so you know, we're talking about Black Sabbath, but Ozzy will be hitting the stage in a few minutes. So maybe 5 10
Right.
minutes.
I have a confession to make about this album, Jimmy.
What?
And as we are in a churchy community,
Yes.
it seems like the appropriate time. I held off buying this album for decades, even though obviously I was very familiar with it, because of the cover. This cover stopped me purchasing this album for 2 decades. True.
You were afraid of it?
No, it just the you know what? I love the album cover now for its quirkiness and but yeah, just something about that album cover just as and the crazy thing is I don't recall, but I must have felt so strongly about it in terms of like sort of almost comical, it almost looks like something that could be up from Monty Python. In terms,
Well, I mean, let's talk about this album cover. Originally to be called War Purgus. What was it? Was it War Pig? No, War Purgus, right? How do you pronounce it?
yeah,
War Purgus, which is some sort of satanic wedding or some ceremony. That was what the original album was supposed to be called, and this figure was supposed to be somehow related to War Purgus. Now, they said, the record company said, that's too evil. We're going to call it Paranoid because we love that single called Paranoid that you guys wrote in like 10 minutes. So we'll call it Paranoid, but we don't really care if the cover matches the name of the album. So that's what happened with this album. I got to say, even though I love War Pigs, Paranoid, Electric Funeral, and Fairies Wear Boots, it's still not my favorite Black Sabbath album, but I
think
have
it's played out, right? I think some of these songs have been so force-fed, for lack of a better word, to us. Like, we've all heard War Pigs, Paranoid, Iron Man, in particular, but even Fairies Wear Boots, like, so much that I think, again, it's like You Shook Me All Night Long, or it's like Breaking the Law, or you picked the song. I think, I can only imagine what it would have been like at the time when this came out, and hearing Paranoid for the first time, and hearing Iron Man for the first time, or War Pigs for the first time, given the time,
Yeah, I mean, we're being a bit snobby here because this really is the gateway Sabbath album. If someone was to if an alien was to drop out of the sky and ask, Sabbath, who are they? In that accent, you would give them this album.
Sabbath.
almost
and I will reiterate this.
There.
People, there's no.
This
is a review reaction, folks. Everybody who's watching is a review reaction of what's going on at the Sabbath show. This is not a live stream of the show itself. Okay.
One thing that still irks me about this album, though, and it still does, and I was listening to War Pigs today, which I think War Pigs as a track is one of the, for me, it's the greatest heavy metal track ever written. I think it's, but the speeded up ending right at the end, that sort of speeded up dribble, still irks me, and I really wish it wasn't there. It would be even more perfect.
The producer just had his elbow on the tape or something like that, and like they didn't have the budget to go back and change it.
Well, what's the story behind that, Jimmy? There must be a story. Where's
about
Martin?
speeding up the song. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I'll tell you where that the song originated in the bars when the band was still called Earth. So it was a song that was growing on the club scene, and then when it came time to record it, they just recorded it and they called it War Pigs instead of War Purgus or whatever it was called. So that's just, I would think it shaped itself in the sort of like the live situation or live scenario.
But that speed up at the end, Jimmy, that sort of...
Sabbath were known for that, because if you look at the song Black Sabbath, right, it's very slow. Dong, dong, dong. Right? And then at the end, it goes fast. So a lot of bands, if you listen to them today, they use that sort of tempo, like slow, and then you go fast.
I'm not talking about the light and shade, which Sabbath do beautifully, and many
Yeah.
bands should learn from that. If you just constantly play at the same pace all the time, it's not as effective. One of the great things
Exactly.
about these Sabbath albums is you've got
Yes.
that variety of pace. You've got that interlude, quieter moments. So the heavier moments are highlighted, right? It's not that. I'm talking about the almost, the switch on speedometer. It's not natural. The end of War Pigs. What was that? I mean, the producer just playing around in the studio,
I
and it
think
was a
that
joke,
was
or it
their
was
style. Like if you listen to
no, but it's not.
a
It's
lot
not
of
natural, Jimmy. I
no, but
mean,
that's
it's
what
not
Black
them
Sabbath
playing.
did. That's what Black Sabbath did. If you take a song like
Perrin, you know what I'm talking about, don't
of
you? The
course I know what you're
last,
talking about.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
last 3 seconds,
Yeah.
basically. Not even that.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, like yeah, I don't think they were trying to show off their technical proficiency. I think
That's not
look,
them playing, is it? That's
they, they,
just a.
they were they were a bunch of
Oh, good news, guys. Fernando's got we call it French fries, you call it chips.
yeah, he would seem to have
Chips.
9 of them. That's very good. Like, are they rationing them? Is that what they're doing now? Or
Jimmy, French fries. French fries are a lot more thinner
Okay.
and
These are chips.
a lot more crunchier. Chips are a bit more wholesome.
Wouldn't they be called potatoes?
chips?
Because they're
are
much
crisps,
thicker,
aren't
thicker
they?
than
No, because
French
they're
fries.
chips of potatoes.
Yeah, I never
Or
understood
is it-
chips.
Do you not call them pommes frites in Montreal? Would that not be?
Pomme frite, what the heck's that?
But I mean,
You know what a
no
pomme
one
is?
knows
It's
that.
an apple. Pomme de terre is a apple. Apple of the earth.
Yeah.
The earth, which is a potato. But what? Surely the oh, we divert. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't know where you're going with this either, but let's go. Hi from Peru, Carlos. Hola. All right, let's go to their third album. Anybody's got it in front of them?
Yeah, I've got it not too far.
Master.
What a change! What a change from this album. This is the thing, right? Not
Thank
too
you,
many
John
years
Kiro.
between all of these albums, but what a change! How different is that
Yes.
from that, and how different is that from that?
Well, that's evolution, right? That's mature. That's a band maturing right before your eyes.
Yeah,
In 2
yeah,
years,
yeah.
in 2 years, Perrin.
Yeah.
It's incredible how, those songs on Master of Reality are a little more simpler, right? They're not as complex as we'll see as they progress later on. But man, they're dark and they're melodic too, right?
Yeah, After Forever might become lyrically like a song that just so connects with me, like and powerful. And you know what? I didn't know After Forever very well until the Nativity in Black cover record. And Biohazard did this amazing cover of After Forever. And then I had to go back and listen to the original, which I had kind of just glossed over in my youth, being so focused on Paranoid and Iron Man and Children of the Grave and all that kind of stuff. And man, if After Forever isn't one of my 5 favorite Black Sabbath songs right now, like I don't know what is. I mean, just
I agree with you.
brilliant lyrically, super well played. I tell people this all the time. If I had to choose one riff of Tony's to explain to people what Black Sabbath was or what heavy metal was, it would be when Into the Void kicks in, like, that riff after the intro, like that. So this album is just...
Guys, when I got to tell you, this
If you
is
made
the
me
album.
pick a favorite of the first 8, this might be it.
When I was a young lad, maybe like 14, 15, we started our first garage band. All we did is play Black Sabbath, Ozzy era stuff because it was simple. It was simple. It was effective, but they were simple. A song like Sweet Leaf, right? It's easy riffs, but it's so effective. It's the coughing at the beginning, and then it speeds up, not the same speed up that you're talking about, the speed of the tape. It speeds up and it goes down. But that's what they like to do. They love to change things up, Black Sabbath, right? You don't see it coming. And to me, Sweet Leaf, After Tomorrow, After Forever, Children of the Grave, which Ozzy used to play in his set list like all the time.
This could be argued to be the perhaps their most influential album in terms of creating genres. I mean, if you look at the bands that have come out of this in terms of the really heavy doom styled, the Candle Masses and so forth, this is the album that
Listen to this.
Has probably influenced more bands.
Scott Blues is chiming in and saying what you're saying, because Iommi is the riff master. Him and Hetfield. There you go. There you go.
I would say Blackmore and Iommi rather than James, I think James would probably have to say the same.
We Are DNA is saying, he says, combining horror movie music with jazz and blues and psychedelia was pretty damn genius. He nailed it. He nailed it right there, or she nailed it. So thank you. Okay. And there's no link. So there's people who are coming, who are typing in and they're saying, where's the link? Where's the link? There's no link. This is a review reaction of the show that's going on right now.
Yes.
Ozzy,
if you want to watch the show, go buy it.
Ozzy is gearing up to play. So there's a stream that's 2-hour delay. And we have people. Fernando is in the stands. And I told him, Fernando, I'm showing your fries live. And he goes, what? What are you doing?
All 9 of them.
He sent me a message. Hold on. It's a food thing.
This is. Speak up, Fernando. Come on.
The 5 chips there. I finally managed to get some food because they're out again. They're already selling a few things. And the 5 chips there, it's 5 quid, mate. Fucking joke.
That's live at the stadium right now.
Which is
what's a quid? What's a quid?
French fries, 10
quid is a pound. Okay. It's a pound. So basically, £5, which actually was the same as a drink of pop in the stadium.
I guess it's equivalent to bucks. Oh,
no,
somebody's here. Wait a second,
in the
guys. There's a special guest. Oh, I think that's Elton John.
Elton is good friends with Ozzy and Sharon. Sir
Elton.
He is.
So there you go. There's a video. We were talking about video speeches, right? That's going on at the stadium. So in between sets or songs or changeover.
He actually, to give Elton his credit, we talked about the number of albums that people produced in a short period of time. During that 70s period, he must have produced 7 classics, Stone Cold classics.
Yeah.
In 5 years. So the man has chops. The man has some serious musical chops.
4. Volume 4. I would say this is, in my opinion, I do like a lot of songs here, but I think it was a bit of a dip. I believe Tony Iommi started producing himself, or the band started producing the albums. A bit of a dip, Wheels of Confusion, Tomorrow's Dream, Changes. I don't know, this little waltz that they threw on there. Under the Sun is a cool song. Laguna Sunrise seems like filler. Like, guys, we need a couple more minutes. Let's just put a little.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you're glossing over the biggie. I mean, for me, Supergroup and Snowblind are the two big tracks on this one.
Yes.
Well,
a lot of people love the song.
I think bar Changes, this is as strong as any other album.
Okay.
Possibly one of their strongest. So I don't know if I'm quite on the same with you there, Jimmy. I mean, Changes, yeah. I mean, I can do without that. I'll skip that. But the rest of it, especially the heart of the album, when you look at Supernaut, Snowblind, Cornucopia, those are 3 great tracks.
Yeah.
So there's the meat, the substance, the core of this album is superb.
VD is texting. Hold on. VD is saying, wait, did someone say Elton John?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Guys, the first 6 records, they're all 9 on 10s or 10 on 10s. So we're talking about degrees of greatness. We're not talking about good and bad, in my opinion.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a great point, Perrin, because when I say it's not my favorite, I mean it's not a 9 out of 10. It's like an 8.5 out of 10.
And we talk about Bill's leg wear here, but check the back of this, Jimmy and Perrin. Look at what Mr. Geezer's wearing. No, you're on the wrong album, Jimmy. We're still on number 4.
Oh, 4. Okay, sorry. There we go. Whoops. There it is.
You've got Geezer there wearing green.
Green. Like Green Day. Look at that. Confusion. So what does green mean? Is it a bad thing? Is it because he's Irish, right?
Well, I mean, it's green. The others are wearing black, and he's wearing green. You know,
Look at that.
you know what I love about the bands at the period as well. If you look at the drums, and you look at the drummers, and the way the drummers used to hit the drums with so much ferocity and abuse, those kits, the fact that those kits could stay on the stage without toppling over.
But you would see Bill's kit almost like shaking. You know?
True. I mean, that's the thing. It was almost like it was in a fishnet in terms of the drums. It was almost like, but yeah.
Shay wants to know to people who's currently on right now, Ozzy Osborne.
Yeah, they're in the break between Metallica and Ozzy.
So Ozzy Osborne is going to hit the stage any minute now. That's what's happening live at the stadium. What's happening on the stream that you have to pay for $20, $30, whatever the case is, they're still on Slayer.
Slayer is playing.
So you could like rewind back the stream and we talked about Slayer.
Okay, so do we know the Slayer set?
Slayer, yes, we do. Perrin, what was the Slayer set again?
I'll tell you in 2 seconds.
No, we're not going to show the stream Iron Maiden fan because it's just a review and reaction. And they'll take us down if we play the stream. They've already told us that.
Illegal. Buy the stream, folks. Buy the stream. Slayer set. They opened with Disciple. They went into War Ensemble. Then they did their Sabbath cover, which, bit of a surprise, Wicked World. Then South of Heaven with a reprise of Wicked World. Raining Blood and Angel of Death. So just one Sabbath song, but a bit of a curveball of a Sabbath song.
Yeah.
Real change of pace with that one.
Yeah. And Elton John did do a video review for those people just tuning in.
It's interesting that Slayer came on after Metallica as well. Is that right?
No. It was,
Slayer then Metallica.
They were before. It's just because they're on now on the stream. So remember, we're talking about two different realities.
Yeah.
Right now, Metallica just
we're in the multiverse.
Well, we are.
Guys, let's take a pause.
Right now, Slayer are on the stream, but Metallica just wrapped up in the stadium. So Metallica played after Slayer.
I will answer this question for the 100th time. Shay saying, guys, I'm confused. Is there no way to see them live?
No,
yes,
you need to buy it.
Not here. We're just reviewing what's going on live.
Go on Black Sabbath or Ozzy's socials, and you can buy the stream for $20 or so.
Right.
And it'll be available to you for 48 hours, and you'll be able to watch. I mean, I don't understand people. It's a 9-hour concert that you can then watch back for 2 days. It's worth $20 plus tax.
Jimmy Perrin, I'm going to have to go now. And
I'm going to go buy it and watch it.
No, I've alas, but I'm going to have to shoot off now. It's been great being on.
We're going to be on here just until Ozzy starts playing a bit, just to see if he's actually playing. I don't know if he's actually going to play, and then we're going to.
Well, I'm signing off, and best thoughts to the metal voice community, and to you folks, and keep enjoying the show.
You're doing God's work, Tanvir. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, no, that would be Michael, but we'll leave it at that.
All right. So, he's dropping off. We're back at it. We're not going to be on for much longer. So all the people who are writing and saying, where's the stream? Where's the stream? We're just here reviewing the show.
All the people, you can go buy the stream and you can catch.
You know what? I would also tell everybody, listen, folks, tomorrow somebody's going to have it on YouTube. I'm sure. I don't think they'll do it legally.
Oh, I guarantee for sure.
Oh, Perrin, here we go.
Ozzy starting.
Oh, look at this. Kathy Rhodes, Randy.
That's awesome. I told you there was going to be a Randy tie-in. That's so terrific. But wait, is she there or is she just speaking?
No, she's speaking on video, but she's in the background is Randy Rhodes.
That's great. I knew Randy had to be incorporated into this. That's quite beautiful, frankly. You know, there is one, leak on Setlist FM's that he sound checked Mama I'm Coming Home. So, I mean, that'll probably be in the set, which doesn't surprise me. You know what would be nice? If we got a little Lemmy on the screen at some point, too.
Look at that. Kathy Rhodes. Beautiful. Love it.
I can't wait to see that.
So a nice little Sam I Am Ozzy is performing right now. I don't have a feed of it because it's live and the stream is 2 hours delayed. So I keep repeating the same sort of, because new people start coming in and texting in. So this is it. Ozzy's going to start right now. He's going to kick into gear. I'm curious to see Perrin.
And is Ozzy standing or in a throne? That's what I also.
Well, he's going to be sitting. It's already been said. Kathy Rhodes riding the Randy coattails. I think that's not the case. Keep in mind, every day she's being asked about Randy. So she's not riding any coattails. She's been asked to speak. Like, I know her.
Yeah, I mean, metal people are obsessed with Randy Rhodes. And she's one of the people left who can answer the questions.
That's right. Imagine every Ozzy Randy Rhodes fan knocking at her door every time she goes to the grocery store, asking her questions. So she's just respectfully keeping the spirit of Randy Rhodes alive, and that's cool, good family. What about her wine? I got her wine right here. But you know what? You want to see it? I could show you. But I bought it and I was happy about it. Oh, it seems like, I think, Over the Mountain. Is that what's going on?
Really? That would be a surprise to me.
I'm going to ask Fernando right now. Hold on.
What did Ozzy open with?
First song.
Nothing on setlist.fm yet.
Well, Fernando's, I'm going to... Hold on. We're waiting for a reaction here.
Slayers are wrapping up on the live stream.
It's Over the Mountain. Mike is saying it's Over the Mountain. Oh, that would be a good one. But is he singing? Actually, you know what? And is Ozzy singing? I think Ozzy might just sing on the Black Sabbath songs.
We'll see.
Just want to end off on this. When we're talking about the albums, these two albums to me hold a special place in my heart because they pushed all the boundaries when it came to sort of orchestrations and choirs, jazz and metal, and they just took the songs to another level. Sabotage being the album where they were being sued in the studio, and that's why they called it Sabotage. Everybody was trying to sabotage the recording of the album. They were getting writs and lawyers and being sued by management and all that stuff.
And Jimmy, if I could just say, Symptom of the Universe might be another one of the best all-time riffs Tony's ever had. And
yeah.
I always tell people, you got to dig deeper with Sabbath, right? You got to get into the deep tracks. Megalomania from that record, I find, is just such a mind-blowing track that nobody ever talks about.
The Writ, Hole in the Sky, Symptom of the Universe,
for me, Symptom of the Universe and Megalomania are my two go-tos.
Yeah.
Those are my two go-tos on that one.
But I would actually say, if I had to pick one favorite Ozzy era Sabbath album, I'd say this guy right here. Even though the production is not the best, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, National Acrobat, Sabracadabra, Killing Yourself to Live, Who Are You, Looking for Today, and Spiral Architect, just incredible. I'm just waiting for...
And I wouldn't have it. Like, out of the top six, I'd have it in the 4, 5, 6 range more than in my 1, 2, 3 range. You know, my 1, 2, 3... You know, my 1, 2, 3 might be... Well, the first 3 in some order would probably be my top 3. And then... Sabotage. It's again, you know, we go through phases. For those first 6, you're splitting hairs. You know, everything's an 8.5, a 9, a 10 on 10. You
know, Mike says The Writ is so underrated. I agree with you, man. It's like a deep track.
I agree too.
VD saying Metallica is the most overrated band next to U2, in my opinion. I mean, come on, just this album was nothing else. Is nothing great after that. All right. Poor Zach. He says, I have stayed up all night to try and see the show. It won't happen. I'm sorry. We can't get the show just as much as you can't get the show. We can't show it. We could just tell you what Ozzy's going to play right now. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for confirmation of, first song. He's sending the first song by video. Hold on a sec. Hold on.
Maybe there's some trickery.
I could tell everybody.
I think Jimmy is getting some live check-in stuff here. Everyone, I think Jimmy is getting some hot off the presses news, which is why he's left us for a second. Ozzy is coming on stage, so we're trying to find out what's going on.
He's sending the first song video now.
Wow.
So I got headphones on everywhere because
and there's nothing on Setlist.fm as to what's being played at the moment. So,
have you guys seen Black Sabbath live? What year? The first time I saw Black Sabbath was with Ian Gillan on Born Again tour. I've said this many, many times. I was probably about, 15 years old when I first saw it.
And because of my age, the first time I saw Black Sabbath was really Black Sabbath featuring Tony Iommi on the Seven Star Tour. And it was the week Ray Gillan joined the band. So I saw Ray Gillan's third show fronting Black Sabbath in 1986. April 1st, 1986. Black Sabbath, Wasp, and Anthrax was my first Black Sabbath show. I actually didn't see Black Sabbath with Ozzy until I actually bought this shirt at that show, the reunion tour in 1999. And I didn't see them with Dio, whose name seems to be banned today, until the Humanizer tour in 1992.
That's a good point, Barrett. What do you think about Vinny Appice not being invited?
Yeah, look, again, this is a Sharon production. It's back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. It's celebrating the Ozzy era of Black Sabbath and evidently Ozzy's solo career. And let's just be honest. In Sharon's filter is one that the only legitimate Black Sabbath lineup is the original four. And if Bill is too sick to play, I guess it's okay to bring in Tommy Kloofdos or something like that. But I mean, Sharon would like to erase history. I hate to say this, but for Sharon, you know, she would like Black Sabbath just to be considered the Ozzy era. And Dio is heaven and hell, and call it something else. She just doesn't recognize it. So if this wasn't a Sharon production, if this was something else, look, we're getting Ozzy solo stuff. Why aren't we getting GZR solo stuff? Why aren't we getting Bill Ward solo stuff? Why aren't we getting Tony Iommi solo stuff? This is a Sharon-produced Ozzy vehicle. So, look, it's not just Vinny Appice who's not invited. Tony Martin's not invited. Ian Gillan's not invited. I think Ian Gillan's a pretty important person in British music. If Steven Tyler is invited, Ian Gillan was actually in the band. Why wouldn't he be invited? It's because I think Sharon's narrative is one where the only legitimate Black Sabbath is the original four.
I agree with everything you said.
I don't agree with her, but that's her. That's what this today is about.
Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, Ozzy's on stage. Okay, I'll show you this. They're playing. What's the intro classical piece that they used to play in the olden days?
Carmina
Burana. Carmina Burana, something like that. Yeah. That's what they're playing. That's the intro.
But you could open if I don't know, maybe.
And I'm going to show everybody what it looks like, okay?
No.
That's right. They used to play I Don't Know at the beginning.
I think it's Carmina.
Hey, guys, here he goes. That's Ozzy.
That's all we can show you.
Can you guys see that? Can you see Ozzy?
I can see that Ozzy's on a chair in the middle of the stage.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's Zach playing guitar with him.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's his current band. If it's his current band, right, it would probably be Blasco on bass and Tommy Kloofdos on drums.
So there you go, guys. So I can't get you the stream, but I can get you this. Okay. Mr. Crowley. Mr. Crowley seems to be the first song. Wow, this is pretty exciting. Look at that.
Well, I'm going to go watch the stream and I'll see that soon enough. Still nothing on Setlist.fm confirming the set list.
So Mr. Crowley has, wow. Yeah, this Ninja PT, the stream is delayed 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
it's actually it started off as about an hour and a half, but as they're losing time.
I'm getting video here. Oh, guys, here we go. No, sorry. He said second song is Mr. Crowley. So maybe he meant just the intro. Checking this out.
And I would think Crazy Train's going to be his last song.
I mean, we're talking about how many songs can he play here? 20-minute set. Interesting. Okay.
Well, his songs are 5-minute songs at most, right? So, not even. And they could also do an arrangement where they shorten a song.
I Don't Know is the first song, by the way. Mr. Crowley's the second song.
That makes sense that they would have the classical intro, I Don't Know, which is how he always used to open, into Mr. Crowley. If that's the case, I think that's great.
Guys, this is what Ozzy looks like if you want to see. There he is.
Right. I mean, he looks okay. He's just not mobile. Sure, he's had his hair nicely done and everything for the show today, and makeup and all that kind of
That's
thing.
I Don't Know, by the way. They're doing I Don't Know there.
Very cool. Very cool.
Okay, so I want to hear his voice. So we got I Don't Know. Oh, I got another clip.
This will all be on the stream if you buy it, folks, in about an hour and a half.
I'll let you hear this part.
Behind this fucking stage, you got no idea.
There we go.
No music, so no copyright there. That's good stuff.
That's what it is.
Sounds like
I'm
he's
getting
happy to be back
everybody's
in
like
now.
buying a stream right now as we speak.
Yeah. If
You
you
know
go on the
what?
stream, if you would buy the stream right now, you'll see Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Ozzy, Black Sabbath, and then you'll still be able to repeat everything later tonight and tomorrow and the next day.
You know what? We'll come back. I think we're gonna leave it here, right, Perrin? I think we've kind of done 2 hours of this.
Yeah.
You can go back, hear what we talked about, and there's no links, folks. It's sorry about that. We don't have the links. We're not allowed to show any links. I think we've kind of said everything we could say. We've left out maybe the remainder of Ozzy's set. Maybe the next song we could jump off, and we'll let everybody enjoy the stream, and maybe we'll talk about Black Sabbath and what they did tomorrow. How's that?
Alrighty. Good stuff. In the moment, the best we can do for you guys. Enjoy. And it's only $20, people. Get that stream.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put everything away here.
Are we off? We good?
Nope, we're not off yet. Please hit me up because I love to talk to you guys about metal. Okay. Johnny Burbank, you're still hanging around.
Johnny told me he's going to buy it and watch it all tomorrow. Judas Priest are giving a message now to Black Sabbath on the stream.
Okay.
Including Glenn Tipton.
I just want to see what the next Ozzy song is going to be, okay? Setlist. Let's see if Setlist FM has it.
Burn me up forever.
Nope, Setlist FM doesn't even have it yet. So
No,
look,
it's very hush-hush. Very hush-hush.
let's wait for let's sign off right when we understand what the next song is. Oh, did he send me? Not yet.
And I'm getting ready to watch Guns N' Roses here.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and apologies, there's no stream here, and I tried to be very clear in the description of the video that this is not a broadcast. This is strictly a review and reaction because we knew we could not do this, but I appreciate everybody tuning in. You know what, Perrin, we'll just leave it at that, okay? We'll talk about the Black Sabbath and their performance and Ozzy's performance when we
It'll
get to
all
watch
be
it, okay?
dissected tomorrow.
All right, man. Have yourself a wonderful day, everybody.
Have a good one, folks. Enjoy.